have a question for listeners today. Why weren't you sad when the Black Stars crashed out of the tournament? In the past, when Black Stars don't do well, it's even a topic of national discussion. People don't even care. I didn't even get Black Stars tags on my timelines. What is wrong with you Ghanaians? Your national team has not qualified for AFCON and you don't even care. Why? Why? To suit Graham, you were at the stadium yesterday. How many fans were there? Come and tell me. I don't understand why people are not even angry. Is it like, people say when a relationship gets bad, the relationship can become so bad I don't even care anymore. When you are in a relationship and you are fighting, it means you care. But when you stop fighting, it means that you have given up. Now, Susu is on our team sports desk. He went to you were at the stadium yesterday?
Yeah. Press conference, everything.
So, how full was the stadium?
Oh, it was empty.
It was empty.
Basically, like if you look at it, it's a 40,000 seater stadium.
Yes.
I wouldn't think maybe 5,000 people were there.
Serious?
Most of it was empty. Maybe at least the side I was looking at is like there was just one section of the supporters union facing, and the other side. But the people who came to support Niger were a bit more.
You can't be serious.
No. You see, part of it is also there was a player who played for Niger. Their number 7, Daniel Sosa. He's from Bukum. So the Bukum people all came. They were all wearing shirts with his face on it to support him.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yeah. So he had a lot of...
For Niger?
Yeah, because he's playing for Niger. There was that fan base supporting him.
Daniel Sosa?
Yes.
Oh,
so
Lord.
the Black Stars, the people came towards the Black Stars. So the people who were around that, they won free gates. We even spoke to a guy after. He said that he doesn't understand why the police didn't allow them at the beginning because this match is meaningless. So it's like... oh. Yeah, people are not particularly.
So there were probably more Nigerian supporters than Ghana supporters.
Yeah.
How was the game though?
Oh, we're bad.
So even with no fans,
we're horrible. They like you see, the Nigerians scored in the first half a set piece, a header. Then it's like they started having fun. Like they were passing the ball around, like they were moving the ball. Yeah, like they were having fun. They were enjoying themselves
against Black Stars.
Yeah, and you would think that. Like the team there's no confidence. They look disjointed.
Are you serious?
It was very bad. It was very bad.
Which players play for us?
Oh, I don't want to mention names.
You don't want to choke them?
I don't.
But we know them.
But I'm just joking. But like you see, there were a lot of changes because of the pullouts. Because the first batch of people who left, and the second batch who also left after the.
Another batch left. The first batch who didn't come was Semenyo and.
Yeah, another batch left. For whatever reason, because if you look, it seemed like some other players were now called up and stuff.
So the thing was disjointed.
Very disjointed. So that one you can understand why the performance was not very fluid. But the truth is, the way the game was, we actually could have won it because when it was 1-1, because we scored one to kind of equalize. What's his name? I can't remember. Afri. I can't remember his first name.
Jerry
Afri. He plays for Tots FC. He looked very good when he came on.
Tots FC.
Yeah.
It's a local team.
Yeah. He
second division Sunyani.
He did very well at the Wafu tournament. So he was given the chance to come in.
And he scored.
So the momentum shifted because when they scored, it's like the crowd also said, okay, let's get behind the team. So the mood changed because before that, when Ghana, like no one seemed to.
Oh, Charlie.
So when they scored the goal, the mood kind of lifted. The fans were getting behind the team. We were getting there. We had some counter attacks. Kudus hit the post from a free kick. Like things were getting exciting. Then we go to the other side, another set piece, they score. And it's like the mood dies again. Then we win a penalty, last minute, let's make it 2-2. Kudus misses the penalty.
Oh Lord.
So it was just a deflating situation. Yeah.
So what happened at the press conference?
Basically, the journalists were very upset. Very rude to Otoado.
Oh, the journalists were rude?
Oh, very rude. Every time he's talking, you hear comments in the back. They'll be giving some comments, then they are laugh. It was kind of funny at first, but it just became too much. And one journalist really got upset. He took the mic. He basically said, "You Otoado, what are your qualifications?" Oh. And Otoado actually laid out his qualifications.
Yeah, you're a scout.
Yeah, are you a trainer? Are you a trainer or a scout? He laid out his qualification. The guy said, "Well, I think you should be a scout because clearly the coaching is not for you."
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, and then everyone just got. It just became because he was hugging the mic. So everyone's like, he should get off the mic, and then the press conference just degenerated, and they ended the day.
The press conference became.
Yeah, it just degenerated and ended.
Let me quickly speak on that.
Charlie.
It was very inappropriate
for the journalists to do that.
Yes.
To question the coach's credentials.
I understand people are emotional, but the difference is a journalist is not a fan. When you enter a presser,
Must be professional.
you must be professional. There are rules around pressers. Okay. So I get, like, I've seen the comments where people are saying you people don't like to hear the truth and blah blah blah. The journalist is not you.
You can do that on your
You
platform.
can do that on your platform, but that is why there's a registration process to even get a permit
to be
to enter a press conference.
Mm.
So when you go there, ask your question devoid of the emotional reaction and move on.
Mm.
A presser can be tense. I've seen several of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I do not condone
questioning the credentials of a coach.
No. You can ask those questions, but I do not condone when it becomes a matter of you are throwing invectives at the person you are supposed to ask questions.
It got to that
Because
place.
the way it was you asked him the question, he told you his qualifications, and now you say, okay, you have your qualifications, you should rather be a scout. That's your personal, like,
Yeah,
and
you're opining.
the problem with the press conference, people were so angry. It was very difficult. And Otuado, to the way he answers questions, I have to say, it's not good.
How does
You
it
ask
happen?
him a question,
He
you
doesn't have
go
training.
round and round and round. And he's always talking about, I don't know how to explain it. Otuado, why did
doesn't
the
have
team
media
fail?
training.
Then you come and say, well, I've given my all for this team. I tore my ACL when I played for Ghana against Uganda.
Yeah.
Why did the team fail? Why
You
you-
see, it's like, I understand him. He's trying to say that, look,
I care to.
I care too, but that's not what we're asking you. Whether you care or not has become irrelevant. The team has failed. And there was a lot of, why won't you resign? Will you resign? They asked him, will you resign? He said he's not a quitter. That to make it in football, you never quit. But you see, your resignation is not about you quitting. I think that's what he also, anyway, but it was just,
Were the FA officials there?
yes, Henry Asante Chum
Did
was
they
next to
answer
him.
any questions?
No. The question was all for Otuado. A lot of, Otuado, I felt bad for him
Oh, Charlie.
in that moment. I generally don't feel bad for him, like I said, because I don't like the way he answers questions. But in that moment, I felt bad for him because it was like a mob. He basically had a mob of journalists. Basically, everything he says, like he says something, no, it's like someone in the background kind of insulting.
You know,
That kind of
and do you know where it came from? You see, and
Why?
that's the thing.
Why?
It came from the presser, the pre-match presser that he did.
yeah, he didn't.
What did he do?
No, that pre-match presser is where he spoke about his relationship with Jurgen Klopp
Yes.
and all those things, which was
Yeah,
really
they-
irritating for people because people were raw from the
We failed to qualify.
our failure to qualify. And then you come and sit there and talk about your relationship with Klopp, and there was no recognition of the fact that the country had not failed. And he spoke about the fact that we need to play for pride and third position.
Yeah.
You have failed to qualify for an AFCON.
So-
he set himself up from that
Exactly,
presser.
because they asked him about the club thing
Again.
So basically, it's like they asked him. Basically, he said that he basically implied
He
that
set himself
people
up.
can't ask him questions
Because
about
of-
football because he talks to Klopp and Edin Terzic about football. So we are not Klopp or Edin Terzic, we shouldn't ask him about. That's basically what he was saying. So people were very annoyed because as someone. Oh, so when we were in the media, everyone saying, if Klopp sees this, will we be happy? Those type of things.
So it means you couldn't even do technical questions like
That-
the
because-
momentum of the game shift. You know how a game evolves 2-1, talk about whether
His posture when you ask him these technical questions, basically you don't know anything about football. That's how he answers the question. when
maybe
people
that's
ask
what,
him.
maybe that's what he's been told about Ghanaian press.
But you see, if someone asks you, because they ask him questions about his selection and things, and he's basically like, I know, okay, some of the questions were a bit, oh, Koningsdorfer wasn't good. I don't think that's the way to answer the question. Like,
So the
ask
thing is, we
question.
all, so the coach and the
There was a
media,
lot of
we are all
frustration.
in Nayabong.
No.
Is that-
The room was
Oh,
very,
no.
the room was very emotional. That was the problem. But he actually did apologize for the qualification. They managed to squeeze an apology out of him.
I'd like to hear him for myself. I'll ask you what's left for the team. Time check is 3 minutes past. 3 minutes to 8. My problem is that Ghanaians don't care. That's my problem.
No, but why would you?
But who said they don't care?
But
They
that's-
didn't go to the stadium.
but
They
they
didn't
will,
go.
because
They are not texting. They are not.
No,
They are not
because
even.
they
They didn't even post like social media.
No, do you know a lot of people, no, you see, there are people who care about football, no, but some people don't care because right now, the people who are fans are supposed to make noise. Oh, Black Stars are playing. They've checked out because they know that this qualification we've not gone. This match against Niger is a bomb match, waste of everyone's time. But you know, because of me, if I was a fan, if I was not working in journalism, I wouldn't have watched this game. Because I understand, because the game itself is not taking us anywhere. We failed to qualify. Okay, we watch the game, we win one game, and we finish third. Now we have a situation where we've played 6 AFCON qualifiers, we've not won one.
And this is against Sudan, Niger, and Angola.
Yeah.
Charlie, where does this leave the coach? I'll come to the FA later, but From what you see,
Well, he said he's not going to resign. So
did you
get-
okay, let me ask you a question. This is more judgmental. About 6 players didn't turn up for the first game, or for I think
it was about 8 players, if I remember correctly.
and then another 2 dropped out.
Yeah.
So almost 10 players.
Yeah,
Is it all injury?
of course not. You see,
What
the
do-
thing
what
is,
do you
play-
sense
you
there?
see, the thing is, football players play through injury all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to play and they are injured a lot of the time, they can play through a lot of these injuries. It's not a big
So
deal
if
for
this,
them.
was, if this was an AFCON final against Nigeria,
A lot of them would have played, even with those knocks and injuries. But and I understand the players, because you are come to play this game and there's the chance you get hurt, aggravate these injuries for a game
meaninless game.
a meaningless game.
so it means that
Let's be
even
honest.
before the game against Angola.
No,
hello?
once we lost to Sudan
Yeah,
last
so
month,
if the Angola game that the 8 said they weren't going to go, they checked out.
they checked out because all Sudan needed was a point from their last 2 games to qualify. In fact, the Nigerians were playing hard, because if Sudan had lost, they would have qualified, because they beat Sudan last week. So they were playing to try and qualify. So that win was important for them, because they were like, okay, let's win and give ourselves the best chance of qualification.
So Niger is not only selling us onions, they are now even beating us in our own home. It's a minute to 8. Ghana fans, I want to hear from you. Why don't you care about the Black Stars not qualifying? You are not hungry. You are just okay. In fact, they are living their life normally.
But Bernard, if it was match week 36, Liverpool about 9th, you can't qualify for Europe. Nothing is left. You are not as interested in watching the games. You yourself know this.
But it's different. This is your nation.
But it's the same football we are going to spend 90 minutes, 2 hours to
No,
watch.
it's nation.
And also look at the time. Are people going to come to the stadium during work hours?
I'm not talking about the stadium. The whole. I don't even feel anything.
Yeah, because
Is the love lost?
yeah, they've played badly. I mean, it's not like they're even putting up a good fight against good teams. These are teams they should be beating easily. Because if you remember Keto Kreku's famous speech, what did he say about Niger? He said that he can't believe the team drew to Niger. That, what did he say? Was it 8 of the players or 4 of the players in that team can't play for his team? That's what he said. And these same Nigerians have come to Ghana to beat us.
That his infamous rant has sort of come back to. It actually did. It probably worsened things.
Oh yeah, because I think the
Whoever
body,
advised him to pull off that stunt.
if you look at the body language of the players, even when he was talking, they just looked so uninterested. Maybe because it was meal time. I always say that, look, maybe because you can see the plates of food in front of them, so maybe some of them had not yet finished eating or
They were
whatever.
not even minding him.
I don't know whether they were not minding him or like it just was an awkward time. I don't know. Maybe it was just the wrong time. Whether the speech, I don't even want to go into it, but I'll just say I think the timing was off to start. Let's just start from there.
What next for Ghana's Black Stars? I want to hear from you. Send me your voice note. My concern with Ghanaians, you seem not to care. Your team is failing and you are just living normally.
What can we do? It's a structural problem. It's the
Express
GFA who needs
emotion.
to fix it.
Express emotion.
Bernard, there was a video where when Kudus missed
the
the penalty, Ghanaians were jubilating.
Oh!
But that's why I told you they put in the stadium. They came to support Sosa. They were,
How do you jubilate when your team misses
but that's
a
what I'm saying.
penalty?
They've come to support their person they grew up with. That's what they told us after the game. That the Sosa guy, they grew up with him.
Maybe
the
when you come
GFA
back, I'll
haven't
ask
given
Godfrey
him.
the question whether this is the lowest you've seen the Black Stars in your professional
it's a fact.
in your professional coverage of the team. Because I remember when I was in the university, I think it was 2002 or so, 2004. We didn't qualify.
But that one, we even had a chance on the last day, if I remember correctly.
Was that not the tournament we were wearing black? There was a Black Stars that had a black.
That was the 2006.
6 AFCON.
No, but 2004 we didn't qualify.
Yeah.
But you see, I think this is the lowest because we didn't even win one game in the whole qualification.
We didn't win one game.
We didn't win one game because we lost to Angola. Then we drew
what is
against
the ranking
Niger.
of Niger and Sudan?
It doesn't even matter. We should have won one game at the very least.
Yesterday,
Yesterday.
yes, some highlights of the presser, Coach Otoado speaking to the Ghanaian press after the defeat.
3 points from the 6 possible 18. Personally, as someone who has been so experienced from playing football and now in management or coaching, if you were not the Black Stars coach, how will you assess this whole journey of the qualifiers of the Black Stars?
Very good questions. I see things always difficult and different because especially if I see the matches, it's a result sport, so at the end, especially those who didn't see our matches will call for whatever. But me, from outside, if I look at a football match, I'm not like if somebody loses or they play that. I'm not like that. So I'm accessing games differently. And football is sometimes like that. It's bad luck. But at the end, I'm very, very disappointed. That's true. And I can understand everybody who's disappointed or maybe angry. You know, it shouldn't be to a certain extent. It's disappointing. And at the end, we have to do better.
I would want to know that after this unfortunate incident, when Ghana couldn't qualify to the AFCON 2025, as the head coach of the Black Stars, will you resign? Thank you.
Resign, yes or no? Is it a question or just a statement?
So that's a question. I want to ask, just a question. Please. Please let me ask my question, please. I beg you guys, please. Yes, coach. My question was that after this unfortunate incident, as Ghana couldn't qualify to the AFCON 2025, Ghanaians are down, yourself you are down, everybody is down, the GFA is down. Would you resign as the head coach of the Black Stars?
Okay, this question is for sure legitimate and normal question. But surely you don't know me. You don't know my life, what I've been doing, and where I was. I was very down. People have been chasing me, whatever. You don't know my life, but I'm nobody who can resign. I'm not a person who can resign. If I would have done this, I would never become a national player. I would never become a player in the Bundesliga, and I would never become a coach. You know, I have a very, very different mindset than somebody who would resign. Different mindset, totally.
Because you played 6 games in the AFCON qualifiers. You failed to win a single game. 2 of the games you played on neutral grounds. I watched the press conference yesterday, and I've seen you today in person. Your body mannerism, your disposition doesn't come off as someone who understands the magnitude of what the team has done to Ghanaians. Yes. As a former player, I expected a lot more remorse, a lot more anger. Even if it's anger, I would accept that. You came into a press conference, you're asking whether somebody's a Ghanaian. Yeah. You are giving someone the microphone.
Because he was laughing, that's why.
No, sure, I understand. Yeah.
It's a very sad moment, that's why.
But I didn't get that sadness from you. Yesterday, for instance, some of the things you said in the press conference got a lot more Ghanaians angrier than the results. Tell us about the relevance of getting feedback from club and others.
No, but
hold on, let me finish, sir. I personally like you as a person. I like you as a coach. I think you've got a great future. But your posture in the last 2 days I've seen does not come off as someone who understands the magnitude of the failure the team has caused Ghanaians. For 20 years, we are not going to play in the AFCON. What is sad is that 24 countries will play at the AFCON out of 54 countries. In 20 years, we lost Adebayo for the first time in 24 years. We see players play on the field of play as if nothing is at stake. 8 players can decide to play for us or not. Look, we look back and look at the team, and the feedback we get is a team in disarray. It's a team that doesn't look like you're in transition and is going to get better next time. Again, moving from the disposition, your disposition, why should Ghanaians impose confidence in you that you can get us to the World Cup, considering the fact that in 6 games at the AFCON, you scored only 3 goals? Considered, and the sad thing is that you concede almost at the 90th minute, 88th minute, 87th minute, 85th minute, in almost every game, you concede more than 1 goal. Confidence in you, and I believe I'm a believer in you coming back, but that belief is eroded, and I speak for not myself, but for a lot of Ghanaians watching you today. What are you going to do from now to March if the FA decide to keep you, to regain that confidence in you? And about your disposition, maybe we don't know you well enough, so we are getting it wrong, but from what we see from yesterday and today, it doesn't look good from an ex-player of the national team who's won this JC before, who knows the badge, who's played at the World Cup before for Ghana. We expect more energy, a lot more anger from you for the fact that we failed to qualify for the World Cup. Thank you very much.
Okay. think the anger you are maybe missing it so that against you or against myself or against the players. I mean, what kind of anger do you see? I'm somebody who always gives everything. As a player, I got even, I tore my ACL when we played with Ghana against Uganda. Please don't come from this point that it doesn't touch me. This is not correct and this is not fair. For me, as a coach, I try to do my job to protect the players. And there's a lot of hatred and bad things going towards them, and I have to protect them. If I will sit here and maybe be sad, maybe when I go home, I'll be sad. Maybe, but for them, I have to protect them. So this is the first thing. And I don't know. Sometimes people I don't know if you've seen the whole press conference, but sometimes people take things out of context. I'm just saying that when I criticize, because the question was, how do I react or how do I take it? And I said, I don't take it personal if, especially somebody, like this lady asked, like, oh, why didn't we play like this or we did this? That's fine, But if somebody gets personal, this is what I said, then I refer more to people who understand the game and talk. Even there are some Ghanaians who understand, a lot of Ghanaians who I talk to who understands the game, and they say, oh, Otto, maybe this was we have to do this on set pieces, and I take my advice, and I was just saying I take my advice from a lot of experience. So this, let's say somebody is just shouting like or resign or this or that. It's not like it can affect me, because after every game, I go through every game, I see what we could have done better, and there are always things. There's no game where we couldn't have done, or maybe myself couldn't have done things better on the pitch.
Highlights of the press conference that Susu was describing, really tense, very, what's the word, tensed, I should say. Yeah. And some way, I don't know. A few of your comments on this the question though is it the worst the Black Stars have done? This is the lowest we've sung. I don't know what you guys think.
It has to be, because the fact that we didn't even win a qualifying game. Not qualifying is different from you do a whole qualification campaign. You are last in your group. Last? Yeah, last. If I remember correctly, I don't think Niger have ever even been to an AFCON.
I think they've been to one.
They've been to one. Yeah, I'm saying, just if you look at the quality of the teams in our group, they are not doing too well. They are not teams you should expect to struggle against. But we come to a group and you finish last. Niger, who are supposed to be the whipping boys, who quote unquote, we said against Niger 6 points. At home, Sudan and Angola, we get 6 points from those two, and then away Angola and Sudan. What happens there? We don't mind, because we got in 12 points. This was the calculation we made before we started the group. And we've ended up with 3 points, if I remember correctly. It's not good enough.
Do we have good enough players to compete?
100%. Our players are better.
Lack of talent.
Our players are better than all the players in the group. Other teams in the group. Let's not even sugarcoat and pretend.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So it's a question of coaching and management.
Yeah, it also seems like there's a problem with the morale of the camp, for sure, because the players don't look confident. That's one thing you notice as well. The Nigerian players looked a lot more confident. They looked that's something. They look confident. They look like they were having fun. But our players they just didn't know what to do. They looked confused. There's a lot going on.
Here are some comments, Caleb.
Jerry from Achimota says, Bernard, I'm too disappointed to be disappointed. Good morning, Bernard. Please, the qualification of the Black Stars will be detrimental to us as a nation. That is why we are okay with the loss. If we get the World Cup, we will not participate. The financial embellishment is too much. Harry from Kaswa. Good morning, Aloski. I'm not mourning our team's failure to qualify. It's actually a chance to save our nation some funds. Considering the significant budget allocated for such events, we are talking millions. Think about it. The sports minister and FA president won't need to travel, and we can all watch from home instead.
They'll go.
They'll go.
The FA president has work to do.
He will go.
Kekeli So that's your answer. I'll ask you. We don't care because taxpayers' money has been saved from being misapplied. If they were even able to qualify, another $8.5 million would have gone into thin K from Accra. Hi Bernard. The Nigerian player called Muhammad Ali is also a Ghanaian, who I know personally. He was born in my house at Bubuashi and played several teams at Bubuashi before switching nationality Nigerian to play for Niger. He now plays for Maccabi Haifa in Israel. His real name is Fofo, typical Ever boy. I'm Kojo Mens.
From Bubuashi to Niger.
Oh, yeah.
So there are two Ghanaians.
Noble Arix. He played for Noble Arix.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
And the one from Bukom is called what?
That's Sosa. Then there is Salim Abubakar, who's from Sukula.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Najib Yakubu went to Datus.
They are Ghana players, or they were Nigerians born in Ghana?
But you know there's a large
Nigerian community
here in the Zongos. So.
No, but is it that they are Nigerians born here or Ghanaians?
They are born here, but they have either their mother or their father
from Niger.
You know, tracing their heritage.
Or they just wanted an opportunity to play for another country.
No.
So they have Nigerian roots.
These are people who most of the time go to Niger. They visit. So
so they have
they know exactly, because Najib is Kudus's mate. They played at under 17 together. So.
Wow. Well, more comments
from Silo in Labone. The issues in Ghana extend beyond the Black Stars. The country's overall development has stalled, exemplified by the lack of street lights in this country. Driving at night is dangerous.
This is what Agama. You mean street lights?
Bernard, using myself as an example, people lost interest in watching the match because of previous disappointments, pure and simple, out of New Gbawe. Bernard, I feel many Ghanaians have lost their love for the Black Stars because of inconsistency in their performances, favoritism in player selection, and a lack of transparency from the GFA. The team used to inspire pride and unity, but now there is a sense that the passion and fighting spirit are gone. People just want to see a team that plays with its heart and truly represents the nation.
Hello, I just want to say, Keto Kriku said the GFA is the most transparent sports organization in Ghana. He's going on record to say that. So
is the most what?
Transparent sports organization in Ghana.
How many sports organizations are there in Ghana?
He said they are the most transparent.
A lot.
Are we in a worse situation than 2014? You know the 2014 3 million Brazil thing?
But that was at the World Cup. You had qualified for the World Cup. That was just national embarrassment in terms of, it wasn't about sporting achievement.
So this one there is low, cry.
This wasn't about sporting achievement. Well, we've been here before, just that it's been a long time.
Are you sure I've been here before?
2004, we didn't qualify. You said so yourself.
But was it like
But the
this?
2004 qualification campaign this embarrassing?
No.
Yeah.
But not qualifying is not qualifying.
Because 2004, the tournament had only 16 teams.
Yes.
This tournament has how many teams?
24.
So if you can't get into a top 24, that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm saying, but not qualifying is not qualifying.
But not winning any game.
Yes. Out of
and losing at home to Niger.
3 points out of 18.
Yeah, more comments. I'm coming. 054-998-6996. We are reading more comments.
Pa Kofi, hello Bernard. I'm not sure anyone is sad, but happy. And we have to compliment Otoado because he has saved the country from corruption. Oh, everyone is understanding. Okay, we are Arsenal fans and we are used to this. Ni ama Oshipa.
Oh, Charlie.
Okay.
Oh, Charlie.
Okay. Bernard, as said before, I lost my love for Black Stars the very day they were seen kissing dollars and failed to qualify after. I'm too young to continue supporting Black Stars to be having high blood pressure issues. Edmond from B Hills. Bernard, we don't want to associate ourselves with failure, especially when the right things are not done. So Ket and his people can keep the Black Stars. We will save money. We should transfer this kind of attitude to our political leaders. Okay. George from Airport City. Good morning, Bernard. The FA wanted to bring back the love, but they have ended up making more Ghanaians lose their love for the Black Stars. Black Stars not qualifying is a way to save the nation's purse. Every tournament is a cash cow for the football people. We spend taxpayers' money on Black Stars and bring the budget after the tournament. No accountability, you say. The reason for the indifference of Ghanaians towards the Black Stars is not particularly towards the team. It's the summation of the frustration of the citizens to national issues. Things are so bad that they can't be bothered. Be bothered about a national team's inability to qualify for AFCON. Bernard, you just read a listener's outlook of the filth everywhere, and the median of our highways overgrown with weed to unimaginable proportions. Things are really not looking good. Selassie from our ship.
Right, now let's try and measure this. So 2004 we didn't qualify. Then 2006 we qualified and then went to the World Cup. So what happened? Let's learn from history. Was there a change in the team from the 2004 team to 2006? Because 2006 was our first World Cup qualification, happening after a failure to qualify for an AFCON. And then 2008 we hosted and went in the semi-final, and then we did semi-finals all through to 2017. So what do you, if you remember, what accounted for that sort of steady progress from 06 all through to 2017?
Well, it was a more experienced unit. Let me put it that way.
Footballers or managers?
Both. Coming together from the failure of 2004 entering into 2006 when we went to Egypt and exited at the group stage. So
2006.
Yes.
We left at the group stage.
Yes, we went out at the group stage.
Oh, okay. So we didn't qualify in 2004. 2006 left after the group stage.
Yes.
That's why we stopped wearing black.
That's the one wearing black.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was
and then we qualified for the World Cup that year.
Yes, we had become a much better team. If you looked at the quality of players that were available, who were in their prime at the time, who had suddenly become available for the national team post 2004, plus a competent coaching unit, plus an FA that was willing to allow, these players to find their own way, and for the technical team, there was a lot of support that was hitherto not available.
Okay.
So by 2006, the cooking was there. It wasn't ready, but you could see it. So they went to the AFCON, it didn't work out, but by the time they got to the World Cup, you could see that, the potential that had been there was manifest.
So this is the Asian, Derek Boateng, Stephen Appiah, Laie Kingston group, John Mensah, Olele, Sule Muntari group. So they are the 2006. So they were the new team. Because the 04 team was an older team.
Yes.
So they sort of phased them
out. And then a new core emerged. So by 2006, you realize that Sami Kufo had become a veteran.
Yeah. Because 2006, something happened to him against Italy.
Yes.
C-Top.
He was entering that phase of the game. He was at Ajax.
So they phased him out and brought...
Maybe he was even at Livorno, it could be possible, because he played for a lot of teams after.
No, at that time he was coming from Ajax.
So this is the new team that came in from 2000 and...
Not necessarily a new team, but a spine that had been cooking for some time was given an opportunity.
And of course, who was heading the FA at the time? 2006.
Kwesi Nyantakyi came just before the World Cup, if I remember correctly.
Which were the World Cups?
The 2006 World Cup. So I think maybe it was Nyaho Tamaklo who was there, and then he handed over to Kwesi Nyantakyi, I want to say.
Yeah, Nyaho was 2000. Nyaho was in the Kufuor year.
Yeah.
So Nyantakyi took over in 2005.
Yes. Nyantakyi came
around that time.
And from there we had 2010, which probably was our highest.
2010 were runners up.
At the AFCON.
But 2008 were third.
So 2008, who was our coach?
Claude Leroy.
So 2006 was...
Let me just run you through the thing.
Yes, take me through.
Otherwise, we'll spend all the time talking about history. We are in there now.
No, I want to know where we've come from.
We've come from group stage in 2006. 2008, third place. 2010, we were runners up. 2012, fourth place. 2013, fourth place. 2015, we were runners up. 2015, we were runners up. 2017, fourth place. 2019, round of 16. 2021, group stage. 2023, group stage. 2025, we will not be present.
So the decline started
2019.
So after 2017?
Yes, 2017 was...
Because for World Cup, we didn't go to 2018 World Cup as well.
Yes.
And we qualified for 2022 World Cup, only just.
Yes, by the last minute game with Nigeria.
So what do you trace? So this is not a sudden...
Yeah, but...
So you can't say this is a surprising... So those who say Ghana surprisingly qualify are not right. You've been on the decline. You've been declining from 2000.
It's a surprise you didn't qualify.
You are from number 4 to round of 16.
But those performances were in the tournament.
No, but if you have a trend, the trend is from number 4 to round of 16 to group stage.
Logical
Logical thing is not
You won't
qualified.
qualify.
That's the trend. So you are now at the trough. Then you
Yeah,
now
but
go up.
we're not doing linear equations.
No, but that's how it
It's
is.
not linear
It's in
equation.
your face.
So it shouldn't be surprising to anybody who's watching.
I think it's still surprising. I'm saying, look at the quality of the players we have. It's surprising we didn't qualify. If we hadn't won the AFCON, if we went out in the group stage again or something like that, then I would say, okay, that tracks. But to not qualify, that one day is...
Because if you're on a downward spiral and other people are rising, you're obviously going to hit the bottom. So
yeah, I don't disagree that things have been good. I'm just saying, based on our players, they're not being able to qualify is
but having good players doesn't mean you have a good team.
I mean,
Because
that's what we expect from the FA and the
Everybody
coach.
has good players.
Yeah, it's a team. It's not.
Everybody has good
Who do you
players.
blame for? Is it the coach?
I blame everybody. I've been blaming everybody.
Everybody.
I blame everybody.
How can you blame everybody? How do you solve the problem?
No, he's right. And I said this.
You blame everybody.
The government. What have we not said to the government to do about our football? The Ghana Football Association. They
So
refuse to
government,
listen.
ministry, FA,
FA,
technical team, coach.
everything. You see, because those are the top.
Even the players.
You see,
Oh, Lord.
those are the top sets that run the system. This sets the structure. This sets the tempo. All the big decisions are made at the top. So for us not qualifying, it's simply all the poor decisions that have been made from the government coming all the way down to the ministry, from
To
the
the FA.
ministry to the FA, from the FA to the technical team, the technical team also giving wrong filler to the players. Is it not the situation that you will get?
So everybody is to be blamed.
All of them. They cannot. I'm sure they will sit down and say, "Hey,
Okay, who takes the most blame?
for this,
Yes,
the GFA and the ministry,
the GFA and the
The
ministry
yes.
together.
You see, I blame the ministry because I've told you this. There is no way you run football without the government. I agree that the Football Association is a private organization, but there is no country on planet Earth where football has grown without
State involvement.
the state being actively involved, not passively.
Active.
We've been able to create a situation where Ghana is the one country that has convinced itself that the government has to be a passive player. Look, Cameroon recently, they had issues with Song.
Yeah, Rigobert.
Rigobert Song.
Who was an employee of the
Fecafoot.
of the Football Federation, Ethos Federation. The minister wakes up one day and says, "Look, Master, I have employed my own coach."
The Minister of Sports.
Oh yes, there was a 2-week impasse because Eto had also employed this coach.
Eh?
But in the end, guess who won?
The government.
The government, because guess who pays?
The government.
Mark Brees was hired. Cameroon haven't lost in 7 games.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, you.
And this Cameroon with the president that we can't even see.
And you know,
We haven't seen him in
Cameroon
public.
had a similar situation to us in the sense that Rigobert Song qualified them for the World Cup. So it's almost like they had to keep him. But
You see,
he
and the
was...
thing, Bernard, in my experience of covering African football, there are very few Category A countries. And by category, I mean the elite ones. Those we consider elite: Egypt, Tunisia, Ghana, Nigeria, where
Cameroon,
where a coach would put up these level of results, and the federation and the coach survive.
Can you repeat what you just said?
Egypt, they'll sack. The government would have found a way to get rid of the FA.
Immediately. The FA itself, not even the player, not even the coach.
2019.
Yeah, AFCON 2019, they went out round of 16.
They
Everyone
brought back-
resigned.
Everybody resigned.
Even didn't FIFA say interference?
Which interference? They said they had resigned. The government didn't tell you they had kicked you out. The FA came to tell you they had resigned. But how to get rid of you?
They found a way.
They only got the government.
So the FA resigned.
They resigned.
But
and
they knew public opinion
was-
won't even let them
allow
stay.
you to work.
So you've mentioned Egypt, elite country. So would Nigeria have tolerated this?
No, they won't.
You don't think so?
They won't. This one,
Morocco,
for the year.
It won't even
You see,
happen.
that's the
Tunisia.
thing. And you see,
Some of those countries can't even happen.
the problem is we've resorted to a small football country thinking.
Oh.
Which is why we are getting small football country results.
Ojawoye.
No, in Janya.
We have resorted to small football country.
Yes.
So we are thinking like,
Yesterday, somebody said something. We all make that statement about everybody knows how to play football. It's true. But he also asked me something. He said, Godfred, if everybody knows how to play football, why is it that Real Madrid has won the Champions League more than anybody? Why is Svenja Zvezda not winning the Champions League? Why is Basel not winning the Champions League? They will do well.
but they can't.
But Real Madrid will win it.
Thank you.
Because Real Madrid maintains its standards. What is the standard? Champions League. La Liga. Finish. So everybody has learned how to play, but there's a huge gap between Real Madrid and everybody else. Category A. That is why the countries that win it, it's the same for the World Cup. The World Cup has been played since the 30s. Only 8 countries have won the World Cup. If it was that easy to win, why is everybody not winning?
So the fact that people can play
and most of them are multiple winners. I think only England and Spain have won it once. The rest of them,
those
when they win it once, they win it again.
Know how to win it. So we have Ghana, multiple AFCON winner. And you see, that's the thing that people... Ghana made its name from the AFCON. I think that over the period, since we qualified for the World Cup, the World Cup rather has become the priority.
Yeah.
That is how I see it.
Yeah.
For governments, because of what it does, for the football people, because of the revenue it brings, for the fans, because of the opportunity to travel and the general excitement of mingling with the rest of the world, over the AFCON. So, even when we are not doing well with the AFCON, they'll tell you, they use the World Cup as a,
we'll qualify for
the World Cup, and everybody shuts up. We'll qualify for the World Cup, and then everybody... So if we don't do well with the AFCON, look at the kind of effort that goes into getting to the World Cup. And everybody forgets about the AFCON. But we forget that the reputation of Ghana as a football country...
It's an AFCON reputation that
was built by Ghana's achievements at the AFCON.
Just to add a little bit, in 1982, when we won our 4th AFCON, no other country had won 4. We sat down for Egypt to come and win 7, Cameroon to come and win 5.
And we're still sticking at
We are still at 4.
So I blame everybody. If the worst sports minister we've ever had in our history, the results indicate it. When we say it, it's not because somebody doesn't like Mustafa Yusuf. His record indicates he's the worst sports minister this country has ever seen. Supervising the worst period in Ghana's international football. Supervising Kurt, who is also supervising the worst period in international football, which is weighing on a talented generation of players who don't know what to do.
So you think that in a serious country, this morning, the FA president would have resigned, technical team would have resigned, coach would have resigned?
Not this morning. In any of the countries that I mentioned to you, after the Angola game,
exactly, after
the sports
Angola,
minister will be waiting for you at the airport to not be smiling with you. The sports minister is busy campaigning for his seat. He's busy campaigning for his seat. If we were on the verge of qualification, he would have been in Angola.
Actually, Godfred, I'll disagree with you. They would have resigned after the Sudan game.
Which was the first one?
The second one.
The second one.
They would have resigned after the second.
So once we lost the 3-0.
Making it that it's almost like Sudan just have to get 1 point to qualify. Someone knowing that I've basically thrown away the whole qualification campaign would have resigned to at least give the new coach the first 2 games to start to learn the team and then build on the rest.
Is it the public that is not putting pressure on the government? So like the president doesn't know this?
Bernard.
Because if you're saying that in certain countries, there would have been heads would have ruled.
Bernard, what you see, here's the thing. What pressure again? And that is why the public...
But can't the president sack them?
You hold on. You see the
There's
messages
a
you are
FIFA
getting.
ban.
Hold on. You see the messages you are getting. You see the way people are very... I don't care about it. That's because what haven't the general public done? Wasn't there a demonstration?
There was a sports demonstration, yeah.
About the state, Save Ghana football. Did the people not go to parliament to even go and make a case about the state of Ghana football? So what else do the people who supervise these things need to tell you that there is a problem? What they have convinced themselves is that, the people who are complaining, the general public, they don't matter. You see, and yesterday I was saying this somewhere. The problem we have created, the Football Association especially for that matter, is even more guilty of that, is to create the impression that it is a private product. And so its responsibilities and its outcomes are private. So the general public have also gotten to that stage where they tell you, well, if it's a private product, do what you want with it. We don't really care. But you cannot run a national team like that, because what you then do is it seeps into the other arenas of our football. The local league is not at its best right now. We've seen the local league at its best. What we have now is not the local league at its best. We shouldn't be shy to say the local league is not at its best. And so if you give people that impression that what we have is not really for you. It's for us. And so we will treat it the way we want to treat it, not the way you think we should treat it, or we will not take into account your concerns, how you feel about it. You get the kind of very apathetic fans that you have who don't really support you.
And who loses is the FA and the leader. So if people no longer go, yesterday they said less than 5,000 fans.
Yeah, it was like
If they had opened free gates, nobody would have gone still.
Wow.
For a Black Stars game,
they opened their free gates at the 60th minute, by the way.
And still
Yeah.
nobody.
But
went.
we're losing. But we're also losing. So I'm sure people are like, we are losing.
Charlie.
And because I was in and out of the stadium at various times, even the crowd outside of people trying to enter was not that many. Maybe a few hundred people trying to enter. It wasn't like you felt that
the love is lost.
And I'm just saying, when we were walking around, before we even got our accreditation, we were able to enter the stadium without being checked. Just by walking
if
with
people wanted to
confidence.
go, they could have-
Yeah. It's just that later they started tightening up. But I'm just saying that it was so, the atmosphere was so dead that as you are walking, once you are walking with confidence. They can see you are wearing your press thing. You don't even look at it.
So let's continue. So Godfrey, your point is that this apathy we're seeing from fans,
It won't die anytime soon too.
unless
Something changes.
do you think the government has it in them to change anything? Because this is a new law, right? You're
Do
saying
they
that-
care?
I think the president should care. He's isn't a proud man.
Maybe he.
They're football fans. So.
Yeah, to
I
have
really-
his or it has not. Okay, let me put it this way. Maybe this
It hasn't dawned on
maybe
them.
it's been sold to him differently. That we had bad luck.
But
Is it possible that he's not aware that our football is in a rot? It's because I'm told that presidents usually are the last to hear some things.
you see, do you
As
know,
in, that's what I'm
if,
told.
if that has happened, do you know what would make that story? We are top of our World Cup group, or we are second in it.
We are joined first.
We are joined.
Yeah, we
first.
beat Mali away.
So we have 9 points from 12 in the World Cup qualifying.
Football is good in Ghana. We are doing well.
So that's what they'll sell to him.
Because I've told you, it's the World Cup now that will sway. Because if you don't
So they
qualify,
won't see this as evidence of a deterioration. They'll just say it's a blip.
yes. Which is
Wow,
why
that's serious.
No, but which is why if you listened, which is why there was a
Wow.
lot of anger at Ochoado, because if you listened to the pre-match conference to this,
Mm-hmm.
basically the thinking was, oh, we have the World Cup ahead of us.
But he actually said in the press conference, I don't know if you heard that. He said that to him. This is what he said, that the AFCON is more important than the World Cup. So he is very pained by what has happened, because to him, for Ghana, the AFCON is where we should be. That's what he said in the press conference. He actually said it himself, that he sees the AFCON as more
And yet
important.
he won't resign for failing to qualify.
No, but he said he's not a quitter.
Who did he blame for the defeat, the failure of the team?
That was very, you see, because he goes round and round. Sometimes you lose your train of thoughts when you're trying to listen to
I've been reading the transcript.
I
of
don't think
the
he actually
presser.
said it was anyone's fault.
He blamed himself.
Yes, but
Wow.
he apologized after a while in a roundabout way.
Yes.
Has the FA spoken?
The FA president has written on his Facebook page,
That he's crying.
and he says he will. He says,
Are you serious?
He says
Not
this is
literally
a
crying,
low-
but that's basically what
he
he's
says
saying.
this is
Like,
a
I'm
low,
sad.
and he will fix the problem.
But it
the
was,
same guy.
Yeah, he's always.
but isn't that what he said? Basically, I'm sad and things. Like it wasn't.
So what is Keto Kriku's record? Since he took over, we've gone to one World Cup.
We have won 36% of our games since he became FA president.
You are serious?
I'm
One
serious,
third.
because we were doing the thing. So before the Sudan game was about 37%, and we've not won a game since the Sudan game. So it will probably
So
drop to like
we
36,
took over
35.
2019.
Yeah.
Yes,
2019.
after the AFCON. So he wasn't that.
His first AFCON was the round of 16.
No. That was the normalization committee.
yes.
So he came right
2021,
after.
after that.
So he's also not won an AFCON game since he became FA president.
Yeah.
We've not won a tournament. We've won one tournament game since he became FA president.
One
That was,
tournament game.
so that was South Korea, if I remember correctly, at the
We've
World
won
Cup.
one tournament
Yeah.
game.
Of the 3 tournaments we've gone to since he's been FA president, which is the AFCON in Cameroon, the AFCON in Ivory Coast, and the Qatar World Cup.
We've won one tournament game.
Yes, because the
In 2021, for instance, in a group of Morocco, Gabon, Comoros, Ghana, we played 3 games. We didn't win 1. We drew 1 and lost 2.
Jesus.
That's 2021. In 2023, we
drew.
didn't win a game. We drew 2 and lost 1.
and then the World Cup we won 1 game against South
South
Korea.
Korea.
Then we lost to Uruguay and Portugal. So that's his tournament record.
What about friendly matches and
But
qualifications?
that's what I'm saying. If you add it all together, it's about 35, 36%.
Okay, I want you to go back. You said serious football nations. You mentioned Egypt, You mentioned Nigeria.
All the serious ones, you know, the ones who have won the AFCONs.
They've all qualified.
So why? So
Don't let this pass.
So are we not deluding us? Maybe we are not a serious football nation.
Based on the evidence, you're right. We are not.
So where are we? So yeah, okay. Tier 1 will be Egypt, obviously Morocco, Nigeria, Cameroon,
Algeria,
Tunisia.
Yeah.
Right. So the North Africans, except maybe Libya, will be serious, and then you have Cote d'Ivoire,
Yes.
Nigeria, Senegal,
Cameroon,
and then possibly South Africa. They are
Yeah,
not
South
that
Africa will probably be tier 2.
So is Ghana in tier 2? Wait, who is tier 2? Mali is tier 2, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Mali will be tier 2.
The latest ranking that came,
I just want to
Ghana is
point
now
out-
14th on the continent.
No, I'm talking about historical. Put everything together, not just ranking. So you are talking about countries.
Historically, we would be fair. We'd be in tier 1
Still.
we are tier 1 country.
because that's what we said. There are 4 AFCONs.
We're
the
tier
only-
one
the only
The
country-
first AFCON was a year after I was born,
But
1982.
But
that
still
should,
won
but
them.
it should tell you that the fact that only 2 countries have come to pass us in that time.
So the 4 AFCONs plus the World Cup performance in the past few years makes Ghana a tier 1 country.
In Africa,
and the
for
fact
sure.
that we produce a lot of quality players.
Do we have good players now?
100%.
How many in our national team would you say are above average?
Let me even give you.
Or-
Let me even give you a start. Let me even give you a start. The top, if you look at most dribbles completed this season in the Premier League, the top 3 are all Ghanaian.
Are you serious?
So first is Isaaku. Second is Kudus. Kudus has not played for like 3 games, and he's second. Then Semenyo is joined third with a few other guys.
You mean we have 3 of probably some of the best attackers in?
Yeah, but the best. Let's just even
So we have
dribbling.
Kudus, Isaku,
and
Leicester,
Semenyo.
and Semenyo.
That's just for the dribbling stats. It's just to show that because dribbling stats they don't come out of thin air. You have to be good at it. It's a skill. It's a very
And
difficult
yet we
skill.
haven't won one game
And
in
we
the tournament.
can't. Yeah, and it's
Let
just,
me tell you.
and this is just an example. If you look at other parts, look at Inaki Williams. He scores a decent amount in La Liga,
And yet he's not going to
a
play it.
he's not a bad player. Jordan Ayew, we've seen him play in the Premier League for years. I know Ghanaians are not too hot on Jordan Ayew,
But
but
he's
he's
still
not
a
a
good
bad
player.
player. So you can just name names where
And then
they
you have
play.
Partey, who's there.
And that's why I always say that for a lot of these things, just look at where players play, the teams they play for, and that
And the
kind
fact
of
that the
stuff.
coaches keep using them.
Yeah, and you compare them to, and that's why I say compare them to the other countries.
No, I wanted you guys to do something because sometimes people said the generation doesn't have that much talent, like the Asian team and co. You're saying that this generation is actually talented.
Yeah, I
Let
mean,
me tell you the difference between those two. And we've had
And
this
you
com-
saw it before. They were played together or something.
This generation doesn't have personalities.
They don't know themselves.
It's not just about knowing themselves. They are lily livered. Musradie.
What-
They are talented footballers, but they don't have the character to go with it.
Why?
either you have it or you
That-
don't.
you have
No, it depends on maybe they've not come through as because I
Yes.
feel like the Asian and Apia group they came
through a
a
process.
youth system that made them fighters because they've been winning under 17 and things. They've
No,
been-
it's
So-
just
so-
also, and it's also the system. You see, and that is why we've spoken about the
so
system.
with the exception of Andrea Yu, who was probably the last of the Mohicans.
But even with Andrea, you look at the process they put him through. Look, Bernard, I was there in 2008 when they brought Andrea Ayew.
as a 17-year-old,
Charlie.
Lira,
Yeah, it wasn't that he was hazed, but by the time you go through 1 year of that generation,
you toughen up.
you toughen up.
Mm.
You understand?
He was a small boy.
Master, those boys, they were washing boot. Oh. You go and tell them, take Bernard Avler's boot, go and wash it. This generation, who is Kudus going to tell to go and wash his boots? It's not that you are. It's not a process of humiliating you, but you must understand that you need to work your way up.
To be respected.
You understand? You earn that respect,
Wow.
which is why I was telling you the other time that, like the now famous, you cannot make it into my Dreams FC team video. That thing would not have happened under John Mensah's captaincy. Would not happen under Mojan's captaincy. Would not happen Stephen Apia's captaincy. The cameras, I know Andrea Ayew, him, even if he will allow Kurt to have that conversation, there will be no camera in the room.
And
Andrea Ayew will make sure there is no camera in that room for
and
you
there's-
to
we
go and
have a
put it out.
captaincy issue right now as well. That's part of
Don't happen.
There's no leader around because Otoado can't decide who he wants to make the captain.
But I'll tell you a story.
Who is our captain now?
So for the last few games, it's been Kudus. But if you look at the seniority, it should have been Jordan, which has probably created another problem in the camp because Jordan has close to 100 caps,
And he's done well for the team.
and he's one of our top 10 scorers. If you look at the records, he's a senior player by all metrics. Any country, this is the type of person you give the armband. But you give Kudus the armband for about 3 games whilst Jordan is around. I feel like that creates a certain impression.
And they don't even call Partey.
Well, he said, they don't. Partey is supposed to be captain. They don't even call him because he's supposedly not committed to the team. This
So
is what
then,
we are
there's a problem. The coach too.
But
The coach, because like the coach is, because the way the journalist treated him, I felt maybe the coach is being singled out.
No,
but
but
the
you see,
coach,
that's why I said the journalist thing is two things. I don't feel like his answers, maybe it's the communication style or whatever, but he doesn't come across as respectful when he's asked questions.
Yeah, it sounds rude.
He sounds rude. So
and he's not performing to match the rudeness.
see,
You are not Pep Guardiola.
You're rude. You're not performing. So it's like it's double trouble.
If Pep is rude, we'll pardon him because he's winning.
Exactly. So I feel like that's why there was so much negative emotion at the press conference. That it's like, you this guy, you talk to us anyhow. It's not like you're doing anything better. So it's like you talk to us anyhow, and then you come and do this performance. When you ask you about these useless performances, you talk to us anyhow again. So it's like that's where like the frustration was coming from. And this is the first time I've seen him on the defensive, which was shocking to me. Where he actually said, I'm sorry, he apologized and things. He actually was a bit on the defensive. So it's actually, I can see it's getting to him.
And you know why?
Oh, Lord.
Because yesterday was I think the first time he actually got a measure of the country he coaches. Yeah.
Because to come to the stadium and he's hearing louder cheers for Niger. When Niger were getting chances in the first half, you would think it's Ghana getting the chances.
It's gotten bad.
You see, the thing with the FA, the ministry, and this one that has led to this particular scenario is taking the national teams for granted. And this thing, it started especially with the junior teams from Nyantichi. You know, and it's built up.
Just focus on the Black Stars.
Yes, but these ones have even made it worse because if you look at the appointments we've had as coaches, right up to the Otto one, which is the latest, you have a young generation of players who has told you about the quality of the players that are available. These players are young, a young core who need direction. You bring a young coach
Who needs direction?
to come and give these people direction. You give that young coach an assistant who needs a lot of direction.
And we just have
supported
to
by
add,
hold on by another assistant who also needs a lot of direction. And then you say, go and compete. How do you expect them to compete? You see, the assumption has always been that, the boys will play. Forgetting that the general growth of the game, as we have spoken about, everybody has improved, yes. But if we had maintained a benchmark of what Ghana is and what Ghana is supposed to be football-wise, we will always make sure that we hire the best available person to coach the Black Stars. It's a given. Again, I give you the
big boys.
The big boys. The Real Madrid example. At what point, how many times have Real Madrid not been coached by one of the top 5 coaches in the world? At what time?
If Real Madrid is not on your CV,
and the type of people they call, if they are not top 5 coaches, is a lot of the time is very respected former players.
Yeah, even that one they will give you an interim job. Jorge Valdano, them squad did well. He's a legend.
I think the only coach that they've hired in recent times who didn't do well, who doesn't even have the pedigree, was Solari, and even his was a very short appointment. Every other coach they've hired, they've had pedigree. Even the ones that didn't do well. Lopetegui had already won the Europa League with Sevilla, so you could see there was something. Benitez was a Champions League winner. So
there's a criteria. They won't lower their standard for you.
But we did.
And they're not afraid to sack as well.
After giving us that 15-point criteria, that this is
what I wanted to get to.
This is who we were looking for. You set it out clearly for us. And I'm coming to another issue. You set out a 15-point criteria.
15 years of experience.
Then
proven track record of winning. Proven track record of rejuvenating teams. This was all in what the FA said. And with all respect to Otoado says he has 12 years of coaching experience. But none of that is at senior level. Otoado has never coached a senior team apart from the Black Stars at the World Cup. That's his only senior job. All his jobs under 21, under 19, under this, under that, which is fine. But
it's not.
No. Relax. When I say it's fine, I don't mean to say it's fine to coach the Black Stars. I mean it's fine as coaching experience. But if you say you want someone with 15 years of experience. It's not under 18 experience you are going to bring to coach a senior national team.
Was Chris Hughton any better?
I would say Chris Hughton was closer to meeting that criteria than Otto Addo.
Even though he didn't perform.
Yeah, he actually could have bet some of the criteria.
Is it true that the FA preferred Otto to Hughton even when Hughton was brought?
I don't know what they are thinking, but all I'm saying is
Otto
set us up to
Addo
fail.
had a PowerPoint presentation that was good. So
It set us up to fail. I mean, Bernard. So here we are. You can't hide from it. Inexperienced team, inexperienced coach. You get not qualifying for the AFCON because every 2x4 team that has a semblance of decency tactically.
that's what coach was saying. Kwesi Appiah just watched that team. He knew exactly what to do. He came, sat back in Accra. He got us. If you watch the second Sudan game, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. We had 2 DMs who were supposed to be covering the center, so we are not vulnerable to counter attacks. But every time Sudan got the boys, they are just running. And our players were. You see, and that's what bothered me so much about Otto Addo's teams over this qualifying campaign. You can't even tell what the team is good at. Like, you can't tell. It's not like we are creating a lot of chances and missing, and we are leaving ourselves exposed. Or it's like we are sitting back and we are keeping the game compact.
You can't understand what they are doing.
We are just on the pitch. Like, we are just on the pitch. I'm trying to figure out what the team was good at.
But it's not the same Otto Addo's team that beat South Korea in the World Cup.
But that was a bad performance.
By Ghana?
That was a bad performance.
What do you mean?
Nemex, we took a 2-goal lead. We had some good moments, took a 2-goal lead, and we threw it away. Within about 10 minutes, it was 2-2. Before we gave another good attack and scored. If you notice Otto Addo's teams, once they concede 1 goal, the second goal is coming. It's nearly every time. And a lot of late goals conceded. We can't, when the game is getting tight, it's like towards the end, if the game is like 1-1, 2-1, or like.
But FA brought Milo back at some point.
Even Milo, at least we saw him in the
timing right though.
But even Milo, the World Cup qualifying group, we saw someone who had some moments and some coaching.
As we sit here, where should we start from? Get a new coach?
I don't think Otto will be fired because
You don't think he'll be fired?
No, I don't.
After this,
the EXCO is meeting on Wednesday. The ministry, I don't know if they are attending that meeting. I don't know what. Again, like I don't know where Mustafa Yusuf is. Probably in the constituency campaigning or somewhere. His PA normally listens. He'll call Nathan and tell him something. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. You understand? But I don't think he'll be fired. Why?
You don't think
I can tell you why. He should be fired. I think he should be fired, but he will not be fired.
I think he should resign. I think he should resign.
You think he will not be fired? Why won't he be fired?
He won't be fired because the state has PTSD from firing 4 coaches they are still paying.
What is PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Because they were paying CK Akono off.
They haven't finished paying CK.
They were paying him off. I don't know if they finished. They are paying Chris Hughton off.
But why do you pay for firing people? Don't you have
Football is one of the great.
Because you are terminating contracts.
But what if isn't the contract performance based?
Football is one of the great industries that once you get a contract, the contract is guaranteed till the end. So
even if you fail, there's no criteria.
And let me give you in Italy, what they do is they'll sack you. They'll be paying you monthly salary. So when they sack the next coach, they'll ask you to come back because you're already on salary or on contract. Come back and coach again. That's how football management is. But in England, what they tend to do is they just pay you a fee. They pay you the rest of the value of your contract and let you.
No, but my point is, can't you sign a contract and say this contract will be reviewed?
No manager will sign that because
why not?
Because every other management offer you are going to get is fully guaranteed. So why would
you can come and fail and go?
Yeah.
No, but you can't just terminate also.
No, we can give you a contract and say based on your performance. So if you don't qualify us for the tournament, you are off.
Yes, those are there.
We should have that.
Yes, but in every one of those instances as well, there will be a fee. So there will be a first year termination fee.
But why should I pay you a fee for failing?
You've brought me from wherever it is that you've brought me.
Nonsense. But you are coming to work for me?
No.
Then football is illogical.
No, it's not.
You are coming to...
The manager starts...
But you don't use some people for not working well?
Yes.
What nonsense? Isn't football a job?
That should tell you how you negotiate. So I don't think you get fired. Another thing that I'm worried about, the Black Stars Management Committee, who is on it now?
You don't know?
Bernard. The last one was a horrible one. They came back and apparently there have been changes.
Who appoints the management committee?
The GFA.
And what do they do? What does the management committee do?
I don't.
And what are they supposed to do?
Well, basically, it's a team manager job, but they spread it around a lot of things. You know, I am an advocate for, you know, disbanding all the committees. It's not a modern function in football for me. You know, I think you can, again, a lot of the grade A teams who are good examples of best practice have team managers. Basically.
That's why a lot of the European teams.
We have a management team.
We have 5 people doing the job that one person can do. You understand? Now, my issue there is, although we have a history of that, but there was always a certain level of experience with that group. Which is why I'm asking, who are the members now? Because it will also inform us. You see, because then I'll add it to my list of inexperienced team, inexperienced coach,
inexperienced staff.
Then perhaps very inexperienced management team too. Because we want to know who are the people there. Now, as we speak.
I just want to say that the way I see it is there's short-term, medium-term, and long-term ways to fix this. So short-term, coach has to go. That's the short-term one.
No, that's the only one.
Yeah, medium-term, we have to fix the GFA. Long-term, we have, as in this current. No, I mean this kind.
You are saying that in some countries the government can force the FA to go.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Medium-term.
Why not?
Yeah, medium-term, this FA has to go.
Is the president afraid of the FA chairman?
No, you see, the relationship.
He can call some people and say that this guy should go.
The relationship that exists here is.
It's not one that you can sack.
You know, it's very different. Our culture is very different, I think.
Then, in the long term, we have to completely fix football development.
It won't happen.
I'm just saying these are the steps you have to take: short term, medium term, long term.
Are there football people in Ghana who think different than what the FA is doing?
Oh, you don't hear Coach Nimley every Friday.
No, I'm not talking about like pundits and coaches of that level. I'm talking of like people in high level politics in football, people who understand at that level. Is there an alternative view to what is going on? Is there somebody we can make FA president better than this guy?
I don't know. I don't trust anybody.
Why? Because they are all part of the system.
Yeah.
So they also come and sell play.
Yeah, maybe I'm also suffering from something.
Yeah, you're a pessimist. You become a pessimist.
So you're telling me that
maybe you're jaded. Maybe the word is jaded.
Yeah, I am jaded.
Yeah, jaded is the
word.
We
can't get somebody. Will George Efre do a different job?
Perhaps. I can't say for certain.
Are there people in the football circles like in Galka who think that Ghana football needs a different direction?
The Galka, didn't you remember there was the Galka chairman or president came to say something? Then the executive secretary wrote a letter saying that Galka is distancing themselves from his comments or something. There was some
my worry is the lack of a strong alternative view about what is happening in our football governance.
And that's what
because politically, NDC says they have a different plan to MPP, so at least we know.
So
are you telling me that football, there's no other, is there no alternative camp?
That's what I'm saying. The Galka chairman or president said something about how he should leave it. It became something.
Let me explain something to you.
It's a cabal.
We are suffering from, you see, the thing here. When Nyantichi came, Nyantichi came through the Galka route. Traditionally, Galka plays the role that you're talking about. Galka always has. Galka was always the counterbalance to the power of the Football Federation. And legitimately so, because it's the Ghana League Clubs Association. It's the league clubs that make up football in this country. So it's supposed to be a very powerful institution. Nyantichi, knowing the powers that Galka had and how it served, because he had been through that system, dismembered Galka through different congresses, took away its powers strategically, and Football Congress supported it at the time without realizing the long-term damage it was doing.
So Galka became weaker and weaker.
All the way to the day Kwesi Nyantichi got to Congress and said, we should change the rules to allow for the president to appoint a vice. At first, it wasn't that. That wasn't the rule. The vice president automatically had to come from Galka.
That's how it was supposed to be.
That's how it was supposed to be. So two very different constituencies.
So that there will be views expressed on football from different angles.
And sensibly so. Now, this current FA also comes from a background of having worked at Galka and understands what a powerful Galka means.
And by the way, listeners, Galka is the Ghana League Clubs Association.
Yes, Ghana is the Galka League Clubs Association. So, Galka as we have it now, which comes to the situation Susu just described, is a pale shadow of itself, because under no circumstances should the chairman of Galka express an opinion for the person he has employed as administrative manager. to write a letter on Galka letterhead and sign it by himself and say Galka distances himself from what the chairman has said. It's like you Samens writes a letter and says something about CTF, and then I write a letter on CTF letterhead and sign it. Godfrey Akutobo co-host City Breakfast Show. We are distancing ourselves from what Sawalata Mensah has gone to say, and then I got away with it. But that should tell you the current state of football. So, in terms of balance, Congress is ruined.
So Congress is not even representative of the football forces.
No, I think the Congress we've not had a proper Congress in a decade.
Serious?
Oh, yes.
10 years.
Oh, in 10 years. Hey. We've not had a proper Congress, which is where the true state of our game lies, because Congress is supposed to be the heartbeat of Ghana football, where everybody who has a stake goes. But Congress has also been weakened by the lack of interest by several key actors, the owners. Owners and investors in football are not, most of them are not key members of Congress.
Why?
So if you mention some of the key names of Ghana football in Congress, they are employees of owners. So they're representatives of the owners and clubs, but grow up to become key elements and decision makers. But the owners themselves rarely show up at Congress. So if the person who owns, so it's like Giba. Someone shows up at Giba. Mm-hmm. You know who else will show up at, because Kusichum will show up at Giba. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Because they are the owners.
Daniel Crystal, Mr. Crystal will show up at Giba.
These are the key people.
Yes, they are the key ones. At Giba, the media owners will not give you will not say, Abeku, go and sit at Giba. It won't happen.
But that's what happened in football.
In football, that is what has happened.
They send almost errand boys.
Exactly.
To go and represent.
So the system has learned to compromise those persons. Now, those persons then become accomplices in weakening the very structure that they are supposed to protect, which is what we've done.
You are depressing me.
Supervised and looked on by the ministry, who doesn't care. The minister goes to Congress, reads a nice speech, and goes away. He doesn't even understand what is going on there. The impact of the decisions on the sector that he supervises. So, are we going to get anywhere soon? I don't think so. But, like Stu said, short term, change the coach. If they won't change the coach, my humble suggestion this morning, strengthen his support staff. If they won't change Otto, no problem. It's their money.
Wow.
Well, it's our money, but strengthen the support staff, because we can't have a situation where, you see, because you know what we have created, and I'll tell you this. We have created a situation where a lot of the boys don't care to play for Otuado. Take it from me. A lot of the players don't care to play for him. They'll show up, but they don't care to play for him.
Wow.
So that relationship isn't there.
His position is untenable.
Exactly. So if they don't, bring somebody that he can turn to his left and think, okay, let me ask this person, Charlie, have you seen this before? Because at the moment, the people he's consulting behind him,
they are out of their depth.
Unless we are not being real. You know, look, I keep saying this, and it's never personal. But let people do the jobs that they are qualified to do. If you don't, look, there are certain jobs, if you are not qualified, Bernard, you'll be found out of your depth. You'll be found out easily. Susu plays football manager a lot. It doesn't mean Susu can coach Real Madrid, though. I've done. Are
you sure?
You can't. Trust me, bro. You can't even coach Asofo.
Oh, it's true.
You can't. Look, I tout my skills as a scout. Look, there are people, when it comes to talent ID, Bernard, if I were to be taken from Ghana and said, okay, even in the championship, I should go and be a scout, one of the scouts in a championship team, Bernard, I will struggle. There are levels to it.
You haven't built that.
We haven't built it. So you take John Pencil, fine person he is, but he is ill-equipped for the job he has.
Joseph Lauman.
His friend, Otuado's friend that he's
Joseph Lauman.
Joseph Lauman. He's ill-equipped for this job that you've given him. He doesn't even understand the country that he's coaching. then how are we going to get results? So something has to give. If they won't sack him, as I know they won't on Wednesday, hey, change the tactic.
Coach has been saying this for months. He's been saying that our technical team is the weakest in all of Africa. This is his claim. And frankly, when you think
it's not far from it.